Today we are going to take a look at a new Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series figure that is very special to me, and that is Tiger Force Dusty. Tiger Force Dusty was my all-time favorite G.I. Joe. Anyone who's a G.I. Joe collector or watched the cartoon, they have their personal favorite, either figure or character. Mine was Tiger Force Dusty. So I was very excited when Hasbro put out the G.I. Joe Classified normal Dusty in like the desert wear. And I knew that Hasbro loves variants, so Tiger Force Dusty was not far behind, and he just came out. So let's take a closer look at the original release, which was the standard Dusty figure. He's got his tans and browns. And let's look at the original Tiger Force Dusty, which is my all-time favorite G.I. Joe. He's got his stripes ready for the jungle. He's got his headwear, he's got his goggles, and he's got his little gun. Just all in all, just fantastic figure. And now let's take a look if the new G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Dusty lives up to the original. So the box artwork's pretty amazing. It's the windowless packaging that Hasbro's been doing that I think they might be transitioning away from in the future. But all in all, for this figure, I'm not going to keep it in the box, so I'm not too worried about it. So with all of the windowless packaging G.I. Joe figures, they come with like a weapons accessory box that's kind of shaped like I'm not quite sure what it would be called, like a little locker. And then this is interesting. I think in the past, the G.I. Joe Classified figures in the windowless box actually came in like a little bag that you have to open up. This one seemed to be tied to a backing, which from a display perspective, for those in-box collectors, it actually seems pretty cool because you can actually open them, take them out, display them, and then put them back in, if that's considered pure, I guess, from an in-box collector. So comparing the Tiger Force Dusty to the normal Dusty, the head sculpts are the same, but they've got different paint applications on their face. It's not just a different color where Tiger Force Dusty has the black on his face, whereas the normal Dusty's got the brown camouflage on his face, but this one goes over the eye, which I kind of like. It gives him a more shadowed look, so he can, slip through the jungle undetected when he's pretending to be a tiger. And then his arm articulation is really great. The ball joints, or I'm not sure if they're ball joints actually, but the shoulder joints are really fantastic. Elbow articulation, neck articulation. For a G.I. Joe Classified figure, these ankles move very smoothly. Usually it takes some working because they're big boots. And then the knees are a little bit stiff, but that's also expected with G.I. Joe Classified. It makes him a little bit tough to stand out of the gate, but actually he's not doing that bad from a standing perspective. But usually it takes you a while to mess around with their legs to get them to stand versus Marvel Legends or even the Star Wars Black Series. I have a much easier time getting them to stand because their legs are not as bulky and stiff. So I believe superheroes and Jedis probably have a better aerobics routine, or maybe perhaps some yoga, which probably helps with what they do with all the flipping and the jumping. Whereas I want to guess G.I. Joe's probably skip leg day. So now let's open up his accessories and see what we've got in there. We've got the cool little Cobra G.I. Joe branded bag that's in there, and these usually just rip right open. I could almost guarantee they will be the exact same accessories as the standard one, the standard Dusty. So let's take a look. It's like, yep, backpack's the same, although it's a slightly different color, which is kind of cool. So we might get some different paint applications on these ones. All right, he's got like a his rubber holster makes it a little bit tougher to put the you have to line up the holes to get the peg from the backpack in. And that's one of the things I do enjoy about the G.I. Joe Classified line, is that the peg on the back is just completely the same as you remember growing up with G.I. Joes, how you put their back in. Almost after a while, every single G.I. Joe came with a backpack, and that just became like a cool thing that everyone's got their own little unique backpack. And looking at these, we have the lighter brown for the standard, the darker brown for Tiger Force, and then the green for the original. The original and the new one are slightly different designs, but all in all, really really great little trio I have here. So let's stand Dusty back up and let's see what else. So here's his gun. We see a black gun and it's got a little bit of green. And it's got the stand so he can do some tiger sniping. I imagine not sniping tigers, but Tiger is in like a tiger team. I can't imagine Dusty is out there hunting tigers. He's got a lot of other things to do. He's a busy guy, and as far as recreational activities goes, I kind of take him for like maybe like a billiards player, maybe poker. I don't know. We'll have to. We'll check with him. Maybe reach out to Larry Hama and see what the favorite pastimes of some of the G.I. Joes are. So we're going to take a side-by-side comparison of the guns of each of these come with. So the G.I. Joe Classified, the two of them are the same, but they have a different color paint application. We can see the green on this one. Then the original is slightly different. You could tell it's supposed to be the same kind of gun, but the G.I. Joe Classified went with a more realistic looking, whereas some of the G.I. Joe Classified actually just use Nerf gun replicas. So it's a different design approach. And then we've got some goggles for swimming, and then another set of goggles to put on the helmet. And since you can see the original has the goggles on the helmet, and you can see my other G.I. Joe Classified figure, you know I'm going to be displaying with them on the helmet. And let's just take a look how they look when he's wearing them as his swim goggles. After a hard day's work G.I. Joeing, you want to take a swim and, you know, wash off all the dust from you, so he'll wear his goggles so that he's ready to go and he doesn't get any chlorine or bromine in his eyes. So he's always prepared. But this is going to be his look, and we'll just take a nice little comparison of the trio. All right, so it's a fine looking headset, although I think it's a little crooked, so we'll just fix that so he's looking his best. And then we've got our original vintage G.I. Joe with his nice little headwear, and then the standard color one. And everyone's fallen over. It's been a long day for the Dusties. So the one thing that I'm not sure how I feel about it, but the G.I. Joe Classified, the headwear doesn't have the soft goods on it. It's got like the hard. I don't typically like soft goods on action figures, with the exception of Star Wars Black Series. They do soft goods amazing, and Robin Hood's Kenner figures. But I don't know, the Dusty figure, I always like that headwear. So the fact that this comes as solid plastic, I'm kind of torn on it. I like the way he's displayed, but would I have liked a little bit of felt on there? Maybe. I can't say that I would like it or not like it, but I really like the one that they have out now. So no complaints. And then also, just for fun comparison, the Loyal Subjects did put out one of their G.I. Joe Tiger Force Dusties, one of their variants. So I do have him that we can compare as well. His helmet doesn't fit on too well, so it always looks like he's wearing his dad's helmet. So it's just kind of like covering his eyes, but it's still Tiger Force Dusty, so I'm going to love it. But this G.I. Joe Classified Tiger Force Dusty is by far my favorite figure that they've put out. Probably going to be my favorite figure of the year that they've released. So thanks for watching. Pick one up if you like it. Enjoy.